Hello, good evening everyone, and welcome to round 11 and 12 of the Flat Out E-Racing DTM Championship, sponsored by Decal Labs. And tonight we go to South America, to Brazil, to Interlagos, the fantastic circuit used for all sorts of car racing, from GT series right through up to Formula 1. So we've had quite a cracking championship so far. We've got 2 more rounds, which means 4 races left, which will take us to the end of the season. We are going to skip next Sunday because everyone's going to be quite busy with all their Christmas festivities, so we are going to finish the championship off in the new year. As you can see, the guys are out for their qualifying at the moment. This is the qualification for race 1, and race 1 is a grid start and starts in qualifying order, and then that's a 20-minute race. We've then got a 30-minute race, and the guys on that will be a reverse grid order. So the result of that meaning that obviously the fast guys such as P1 Don and Stormfly and Loxtec, who are out front at the moment, will be starting at the back of the grid. And not only that, they will be starting, but not having to stay on a harder set of tyres, just to slow them down a little bit and give the guys up front a little bit more of a chance. So the guys are just putting in their first couple of qualifying laps. This is a 10-minute session, and they've got just under half of it left. And we'll just have a quick run through where we are at the moment with the championship. We've got, let's say, 4 rounds to go, and it is still remarkably close. And on top at the moment is Stormfly, who is currently on top also of qualifying. He's on 207 points. And then in second place, part of the Hellenic Knights racing team, you'll see them prefixed with HKRT, is Timorous. He's on 163. And then it gets really tight. We've got Chili Bass on 147. The Ever Rapid Dan on 144 in 4th, and then Select, he is in 5th on 142. And there's another little bit of a gap. We've got Cajun 100 in 6th on 126 points, and they're followed by Loxtec, Stewstown and Panos. So we've had 5 rounds of this championship already. Last time out we were at Monza. Next time out we are off down under to Bathurst, and then we come back to the UK for the final round at Brands Hatch. So let's just have a quick through. We've just been sat on with P1 Don, who is a new driver tonight to the series, heading out of the UK. He's there in the BMW, and he's obviously one of the quick guys. He's up there in 2nd already. So he's already put in a 129.8. So he's one of the few drivers that have got under the 130. In 3rd, we've got Loxtec, who, as we know, up there in the championship. He's just scraped under the 130 with a 129.9. And then again, Timorous, another driver there in the championship, just 2 100ths of a second ahead of Chili Bass in 5th. And then we've got Panos in 6th. Again, the HKRT, the Hellenic Knights team, is running very close to each other there. And then in 7th, we've got Select, who I already mentioned up there in the championship at the moment, there in the BMW. And then we've got Omford, who's relatively new to driving with Flat Out E-Racing. You always spot him, he's got that bright green livery there on his Porsche. And then we've got Yellow Sausages, who, again, bright green livery and a Porsche, but not quite as metallic as Omford, so you can spot him. We'll skip over Stewstown, who is in 10th. Stewstown, only because he's in the pits. Stewstown had a cracking result a couple of races ago at Laguna Seca when he caught out everybody by just single stopping when everybody else was 2 stopping, and finished just a couple of seconds ahead of Dan with an absolutely cracking performance there. And then we've got Devlin Calypso. He's currently 10th in the championship. He's there at 11th at the moment. And slightly oddly, and I think it may be because he's running different tyres, yeah, Dan has offered, and it's been heartily accepted, to run on medium tyres, because the last couple of races he's been a bit of a runaway winner. So at the moment that's putting him down in 12th, so he may have given himself slightly too much of a handicap. Now whether he's going to stay on those tyres for the race, I don't know, but that's putting him 1.2 seconds off Stormfly. And then in 13th we've got John Riley, who's R80, who's currently in the pit, so he's done all that he can. But going back to Dan, see, he's down in 12th, and he's just 1.2 seconds off pole, so it just shows how fabulously tight this championship is. So I'm just going to have another quick look at where we are on YouTube at the moment, because we are getting, I see, quite a few comments. So just bear with me and we will see what everybody is talking about, because we always like to know what you're talking about. So here we go. Wakey wakey. Neil Hall says good luck everyone. Hayden Hall 5, he says good luck everyone, thank you very much. And I am learning Greek, but I'm not good enough to do that yet. I know the end bit of his name is Kos. No, I can't quite do that. I haven't got that far on Duolingo. Hello to all viewers, and good luck to all drivers, especially HKR. Oh, sorry, that is Kevin 77. So, looking at the way his name's spelled, that first one's not Kevin, but it's an S at the end. But there we go. But it's something Kos for your surname. I'll do my best. And Neil Hall says, oh, he isn't racing. I was shocking. Oh, sorry to hear that, Neil. Hopefully you'll be back with us at the next round. I know you had a good run out last time, or one of the recent races at Fuji. So hopefully you'll be back with us in the very near future. So the time has run out. Dan hasn't improved on his 12th position, and up at the front, Stormfly, P1 Don and Loxtech are all still in where they were. Hello, Dan is putting a bit of a quicker one in. He's only 3 1,000ths behind Devlin Calypso. So can he do anything as he climbs the hill? This is all about power up this hill to the finishing line. Taking the tightest line he can up against the wall, shortest line to the, and he's got 8th. Well done, Dan. Just beats On4 by 15 100ths of a second. So he certainly got that place down to 0.8 of a second. So that shows you the difference between those super soft tyres, which you can see Stormfly's referred to at the top with that little SS next to his name, compared to Dan on the mediums. So I think we're going to... Oh, Paris. Thank you, yeah. I got the S at the end and I got the R in the middle. So I was putting it together. Oh, of course, yes, it's the P at the front. Thank you. I'm just reading the comments on YouTube there. Thank you, Paris. I hopefully with a few more weeks of lessons, I would have got that one. But I got a couple of characters out of it. So it's like the ancient name. Oh, kudos for the effort. Thank you. Yeah. I just wish your letters sounded the same as the English letters. It really makes learning Greek very difficult, but I will get there. So, back to important things as I go for a bit of a sidebar issue there of my Greek lessons. Guys are just winding down with 15 seconds to go. So just to remind you, the first race will be a grid start. It will be in the order you see the guys on the screen at the moment. And they will probably need to pit once, because I believe they will start on half fuel tanks. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. This is a fairly quick lap here, so it gives them quite good options on what they can do with regards to strategy. But it's also the great thing tonight, seeing such a full grid here. We've got 13 cars on the track. Unfortunately, Neil couldn't join us, so that would have been 14. So we're nearly at a full house here, so just shows how popular we are at Flat Out E-Racing. So here we go, grid start. As you can see, it's quite a short run to the first turn. Revs are up, red lights are on, and red lights are out, and we're off. Oh, it looks like Stormfly's got quite a poor start there. And I think, yeah, P1 Don got a much better start there, so he leads into turn 1. Stormfly following just behind, Panos in third. And it all looks fairly neat and tidy round the first corners. And it looks like P1 Don has done the best job there, and it looks like in third, Panos is looking quite racy behind Stormfly. Oh, no, I thought he was possibly going to make a move there, but he didn't. So they're all keeping fairly neatly line astern at the moment. It looks like Stormfly's coming back on P1 Don, but around this section here is quite tight and twisty. There's not an awful lot you can do with it. See what's happening a little bit further back. That's Chili Bass in 7th, looking quite racy behind Select. But again, it's the same problem for everybody around here. Dan is down there in 8th. He's on those, I believe, medium tyres. We will just have a quick double check, see whether he's running them in the race. Yes, he is. So Dan has produced himself quite a little challenge there, so we'll have to see how that one works out. So he's not a man that tends to make a lot of mistakes, so there's a fair chance that he will be hoping for the cars in front of him to maybe drop off the track or have a little incidence of their own. But look how close this all is. So we head up the hill. This is all about power, as I mentioned earlier. Stormfly getting in the slipstream with P1 Don. Can he do anything about him? So lap 1 in the books, coming up to turn 1. It's a left-hander. It falls away to left. Stormfly's looking racy down the inside. I think he's got it done. He's over the curb. Yep, great. Nice clean move there. So Panos is the next one up to have a look at Don. Panos there in the Mercedes in third, Don second in the BMW. Oh, Cajun100 has joined the room. He's a little bit late to the party on the first race, but I'm sure he can join us for the next one. So here we go. These guys are in first, second and third, making a bit of a clear break over Timorous in fourth. P1 Don may have been overtaken, but he's not giving it up. He seems a little bit faster around these twisty parts of the circuit. And also fast is Panos, who is right under the rear wing of P1 Don. So let's ride on board. That's this almost first gear right-hander, and now we start to drop down to the lowest point of the circuit. And where the exit of this corner is everything to make sure you get the best power you can up the hill, because this is what it's all about. So, and this is where Panos will be trying to get under the rear wing of that BMW in front of him as they head up towards the curve of 1. But I don't think he's close enough. But you can see by the mirror at the top, these 3 guys here are in a class of their own at the moment. So we're just going to hop back to the trackside cameras and we'll just move our way down the field to see what's happening. So we've got Loxtec in 4th with Timorous in 5th, Select in 6th. This is also a really tight battle. And I can see in the background the battle for 7th, 8th and 9th looks very similar as well. And it looks, as far as I can see, Dan has gone backwards because he was in 8th. So are any of these guys going to take a little bit of a lunge here? It looks like Lockstead's got a slight gap there on Timorous. Onford moved up in the background. I can see he's moved from 8th to 7th. Everything looks stable up at the front at the moment. Difficult to know where to look. The other good thing I'm noticing, and this will be commentator's curse, is nobody's actually got a penalty yet. So that'll probably change any minute, but that's usually down to corner cutting, and there's not too many places here you can do anything too radical to incur the wrath of the stewards. So we'll just move back a little bit. No, I'll tell you what, we'll stay on board with this one because I think Timorous is looking quite racy behind Loxtec. There we go, Timorous right in that slipstream, but I just don't think he's quite close enough to be able to do anything unless he's going to take an almighty lunge down the inside. Oh, someone had gone there for a pit stop. We'll have a look, see who that is in a minute. And someone is definitely out of position at the back there, so I'll have a look at that. I think that might be Dan. So let's have a quick look further down. So, oh, it's Don that's gone for the pits early. So he's dropped out of second place. Lockstep going defensive there as they come up to the left-hander. Timmer's taking the normal racing line. Now will Lockstep run wide on the exit? He does a little bit, and Timmer's is up the inside, but the next corner is a right-hander, so Lockstep's on the right side for that. Oh, there's a little bit touchy-feely. That could end in tears, but they get away with it. So now it's up for the hairpin right. Lockstep going very defensive on the inside. They're taking an awful lot of curb. But Timmer's can't do anything really too much about it around this section of the track. I do want to jump away of this because I want to know what cars are a bit further back, but we'll have a look at the second. I know Don is one of the cars that is out of position. But here we go. This is possibly Timmer's other start of opportunity, but he's a bit wide there on the exit. But he just needs to be really tight under the rear wing of that BMW as they head up the hill. But I'm going to risk looking away from this, which usually means positions will change. So in 6th we've got Yellow Sausages. He's a little bit out of touch of each side of him, but he's going for the pits. Let's see what he's up to on his pit. Yeah, so he's right down on his racing softs. So he's coming out with 13 minutes to go. Started on half a tank, so he would, with a full tank, should be able to go to the end. R80 doing the same thing in P9. So we'll move up to P8 is Devlin Calypso. There in the Porsche. I don't think he's pitted yet. And the other one that won't have pitted yet, I'd imagine, is Chili Bass. But he's got quite racy there at the moment with Dan. And Dan is one of the ones I think pitted early. Onford, I'm not 100% certain is pitted. I'll tell you what, we'll go on board with these guys and see if we can find out. So, no, Chili Bass definitely hasn't pitted. So he's in 7th. In 8th, oh sorry, in 6th we've got Dan. And, oh, I'm mistaken, Dan hadn't pitted. I thought he had. Now, oh, this is looking quite racy between Dan and Onford, but Onford's on the right side, and Chili Bass is trying to take advantage there. Is he going to take a dive up the inside? No. Dan heavy across the curbs there, trying to get the better exit, going side by side. I don't think that's going to work because he's going to be on the wrong side for the next corner up to John Cow. So no, he can't get that done. But on the switchback on the exit, he's got the inside line, so he's pushing Onford wide, which is the right thing to do because that'll get him the inside line for the next corner. But Onford got better traction out of that corner. Chili Bass was trying to take advantage of the slipstream as well. Oh, and they've both gone for the pits. So Dan's stretching his fuel out for another lap on those mediums. So I think he will probably go for a softer tyre because that's really not going to work for him, I think, despite the fact he's showing as being in first place at the moment. And look at that, everyone from 3rd down at the moment is in the pits. So that's 6 laps is obviously 5 laps is the maximum you can do on that half tank of fuel realistically, apart from Dan. And Devlin Calypso is someone who's also generally fairly cautious on his fuel, shall we say. The other guys are the ones with the Greek flag behind them, they're beside them, they are always very good at stretching out the fuel. So as things are shaking out the pits, Dan and Devlin are yet to stop, so they're a little bit out of track position at the moment. But I'm not quite sure where Dan is going to slot back in. I think he's going to come back in around about 6th place, but I may be wrong, and we'll be about to find out because I'm pretty confident he is going to need to pit at the end of this lap. So let's have a look who's won and lost in that pit stop phase. Well, the one that looks like he's won is Panos, because if I look on board, yeah, he's got, see, these HKRT drivers seem to be able to use less fuel. So that means that Panos has had a shorter pit stop, and that's given him the jump on Stormfly. So he's got the high ground of the lead at the moment. So Stormfly needs to get past him. But one that has lost out a little bit there, who pitted earlier, was P1 Don, because he's dropped back a few seconds from this battle for the lead. But he's certainly still up there. He's got his foot on the podium. So we're just coming into half race distance. And look at that, Stormfly almost driving straight by, so that might suggest that Panos is running a lighter or less performance, more fuel saving engine mode on his car. So that may come back to his benefit later on. It certainly gave him track position, and in the background there I could see Dan heading his way out of the pit lane. So is Panos going to have a go back at Stormfly? No, he decided against it on that one, and I said Dan was going to come out in 6th. I got it horribly wrong, he came out in 5th. So, but tyre wise, oh, he stayed on the medium, so quite brave move there by Dan, and he's going through on the inside of Select, but he's the wrong side for the next corner. Can he drive it around the outside? I don't think he's got the level of grip it needs. He's hanging on, can he do it? Oh, that could be a possible track limits warning there. He's gone deep, he's got himself out on the marbles, and he's had to buy himself a ticket almost to get back in there. Came back on the track in front there of Timorous, and Timorous got a... Oh dear, I think that one is going to be one that the stewards are going to be chatting about. Let's have a look how that all came about. So Dan was out wide on the marbles. He came back on the track there, right in front of Timorous. Unfortunately, Timorous got caught up there. He got hit by Lockstake, and then Lockstake hit Dan and spun him round. So I don't know. I think unfortunately that was rather triggered by Dan coming back onto the track in front of Timorous. So unfortunately we've got our little glitch here. We go with our good friends at GT Sport because the replay is not going back automatically, but we're back on it. So Dan has rejoined, but unfortunately he's in last place at the moment. So let's have a look. Yeah, there he is. So, and by some way, unfortunately. So I think he maybe took a few seconds to regain the track there. So I'm not quite sure what he can do from that. If I was him, I'd be tempted to sacrifice his medium tyres and go for a super soft and maybe put in some qualifying laps and see if he can pull anything off. So let's head back to the front. Stormfly has got a little bit of a gap there now on Panos. I thought Panos might drop away as Stormfly got by him fairly quickly. But it appears Panos is hanging in there, so whether this is going to come down to fuel towards the end, I don't know. But we'll have a look on board, see what fuel levels they're running. Stormfly's got just over half a tank, and Panos has got a little bit less, but we know the Greek drivers tend to be a little bit lighter on their fuel usage, so that may well come back to play. P1 Don, they're in a solid third. He's about 2.5 seconds back from Panos. I don't see that he's going to bridge that gap unless there's something on fuel that I haven't noticed. And talking of fuel, he's got just under half a tank. Not sure that's enough. Not sure that's enough. He may have to nip in for a splash and dash, and if that's the case, that is going to drop him down the field. He's got the option to wind back the performance of the engine, so he's not using so much fuel, and he can also lift and coast into the corners. But whether that's going to be enough to sort that problem out, I don't know. But we'll keep an eye on P1 Don to see how that's going to work out for him. Select a little bit lonely there in 4th. He's got 5 seconds roughly each side of him. So unless he does something wrong, I think he's fairly safe in that position. Oh, looking back, looks like Timorous and Chili Bass, the two HKRT drivers, are having a little bit of a battle here. So let's sit on with that for a moment. And it looks in the background, we've got yellow sausages and possibly Onford coming to join the party. So we've got 9 laps in the book. We've got just under 6 minutes remaining. I think the battle at the front is probably fairly settled. I think the more interesting area is going to be here a little bit further back. And again, I still haven't noticed, and obviously I'm not on with every driver all the time, but I haven't noticed any penalties cropping up. And this is one of the more friendly tracks for that kind of thing. You can have... Oh, that was Timorous going very defensive down the main straight, trying to force Chili Bass to go the long way round, which he has done. So Timorous has held on for that for now. But I think these two battling is bringing the gap. And I'll tell you what, we're going to hop on board with Chili Bass instead, because that'll give us the gap back to Yellow Sausages, who I think is visually getting closer. So the two Greek drivers here in the VW and the Mercedes are just slowing each other up a little bit, because we've got, the last time round we were running in the 132s, and if we hang on with Yellow Sausages, yeah, he was a 131.8, so it's definitely working to his advantage, apart from the fact I've just noticed he's got a penalty, I believe, for track limits, which he needs to shake off before the end of this lap. So that is going to be a little bit costly. Oh, but it looks like he's shifted it already, and he is getting really close now. He's got down to about 3/4 of a second. So he'll obviously be trying to get two for the price of one with these two Greek drivers in front of him as they're holding each other up. So here we go, back up the hill again. Can Chili Bass do anything about Timorous? Because he needs to do something, otherwise Yellow Sausages are going to join the party, and Chili Bass has got the wake-up call. He's going for the outside for the first corner. It goes the wrong way for him, but if he can hang on around the outside, he'll have the inside for the second corner. So here he goes. He's going to try it. Can he make it work? Timorous has got it. Oh, he tried to make it work. Couldn't quite squeeze through. A little bit close. I think there was a bit of a paint exchange, and Timorous is going defensive again as we head up towards the left-hander. He's trying to go round the outside, his Chili Bass, but I don't think he can make that work. And look at the background, the yellow Porsche of Yellow Sausages is getting extremely close. So I think he's going to try and take advantage of these two guys fighting. They dropped on forward in the background, but looking at on forward in the background, there is a little bit of racing going on there. I'm not quite sure where to look at the moment. I'm going to risk nipping away to see what's happening back there. So that's on forward and Loxtec. They're racing extremely close together, so I think as the other one's a freeway battle, I'm going to stick with that for now. So round this tight and twisty inner section of the circuit. Quick comment from Neil Hall on YouTube, says go on Sausages. So you got one fan out there, Yellow Sausages. So here we go, up the hill again. Yellow Sausages trying to get the slipstream. He should get a double dose of it with these two guys being side by side. Now this time round, Chili Bass has got the inside line, and it's showing him currently in front of Timorous. Yeah, and he's fully in front of Timorous now. Oh, Yellow Sausages is going for it on Timorous as well. He took the lunge down the inside. He's gone a little bit deep, but he's managed to scrape it all up, and he's got it back to the apex. But I don't think Timorous has given this one up quite yet. He's coming out the long left-hander. Timorous looked like he was going for the inside there. Yellow Sausages parking the car a little bit towards the middle of the road, but Timorous is having none of it. He's gone down the inside. Oh, that looked a bit heavy-handed by Timorous there. I think the stewards will be having a look at that one. And he's got back in front of Yellow Sausages, but that was possibly a little heavy-handed. It looks like Yellow Sausages is coming back at him. He's got the inside. We're coming up to the tight hairpin. And Timorous, Yellow Sausages has got that 5th place. So can he just get a little bit of air between him? Oh no, look at that. Oh, I don't know, there seemed to be a little bit of effect. Timorous maybe had given Yellow Sausages a little bit of a nudge there, and pushed him wide. I didn't think that was really an overtaking opportunity. So here we go, Yellow Sausages has got to do it all over again. We've got just 1 minute remaining, so this is going to be the last lap. Sorry for the background noise, I have boiler issues at my house. It will go in a few seconds. So here we go. Yellow Sausages on the inside as they climb the hill. He's got his nose in front already. So who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Oh no, Timorous dives for the inside. He's gone for it. Go on, update cameras. He's pushed Yellow Sausages a little wide, but that didn't seem too bad. So here we go. We're heading down towards the next left-hander. Timorous has got his car parked in the middle of the road. It looks like maybe had a little bit of a nudge there from Yellow Sausages. Yellow Sausages is going to go for the inside there. Oh! Yellow Sausages looked extremely sideways there, but he caught it. So, is he going for the inside now? It looks like he is. Has he got it done? Yes, I think he's got it done. Fantastic move here. I shouldn't forget the leaders are just coming up to complete the race, but this is too good to look away from at the moment. So, oh no, looked like Yellow Sausage went a little bit deep there, all of his own accord, but he's held on to the position. He blocked the move slightly for Timorous to get by, and Onford's coming to join the party at a rapid rate of knots in the background, and Timorous has gone up inside the Yellow Sausages there. So realistically, Yellow Sausage has got one last chance. Here we go, coming down to John Cow. Can he launch it up the inside? No, he can't, but he's got it on the exit. He's got the inside of the exit. It's a drag race, and look at Onford. Onford's coming to join the party as well. It's a three-way battle to the line. Looks like Onford's gone a bit wide there. Oh, he's sweeping across, trying to get the slipstream. And it looks like Timorous has had a problem because he's dropped back there. So Yellow Sausage has got 5th, Timorous 6th, and Onford was showing as 7th. So I'm not quite exactly sure what happened there. I'll hop back to Stormfly. I'm not sure I can do a replay now. I think we can. Yeah, here we go. Oh no, the race had already finished by that point. I was concentrating on the battle slightly further back. And we'll just quickly run through the result there. As Stormfly collects his laurel wreath and trophy. So we'll just hop up to race results. So there we go, Stormfly, a little bit of a tight battle there at the front. Dom got him. Oh, P1 Don, he must have gone for a pit stop that I didn't see. My prediction was right. So Stormfly got jumped by Don at the start, but he managed to get by fairly quickly, and really after that, apart from the pit stop where Panos jumped him with a little bit of a short fueling, despite the fact at the end Panos was only 6/100ths behind, so there wasn't a massive gap there. Running third for a long time was P1 Dom, but that extra pit stop dropped him down to 10th. Select ended up in 3rd, and then there was that cracking battle there for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, whereas Chili Bass came out on top where he passed Timorous, and then Yellow Sausages got by Timorous right at the finishing line there, and Onford couldn't quite do it. And then Devin Calypso, he's up there in 8th, which is another one of his good results. Lockstack there in 9th, and then P1 Don, as I mentioned, he dropped down because of his extra pit stop. And Stu Stoughton in 11th, and Dan on those medium tyres in 12th, and then in 13th was R80. So some great racing there in the first race, and hopefully with the reverse grid we're going to get even better racing in the second event, which will be a reverse grid. So hopefully that will be underway in about 5 minutes. A couple of quick things to talk to you about in the meantime. If you want to get involved with Flat Out E-Racing, go to good old Facebook, give them a search, and that's Flat Out E-Racing, and their Facebook group will come up. You'll then be able to join in the chats. We've got 2 championships that run. We've got a V8 on a Sunday night, which is the one you're obviously watching now. And then we've got a Group 4 on a Wednesday night, which also has a commentator with the great Jay on, and that runs back to back on the same tracks as I shouldn't say, it used to be V8, it's now DTM. The DTM championship you're watching now, the Wednesday nights runs on the same tracks in the same sequence, and that is also a well supported event. So both of those are worth watching. You've got the like and subscribe buttons below, and while you're liking and subscribing, quick mention for our sponsors, Decal Labs, that do, funny enough, as you can tell by the title of their company, they do decals. So if you want your own car to look like something from the British touring cars, or you want something subtle, or literally anything that's in your mind, I'm sure those guys can come up with it. So do a quick Google for Decal Labs. They're great sponsors of the series. They provide the prizes for the top 3, and we're getting very close to the point in the season where those are going to get awarded. We have just 2 races after this left. We're off to Bathurst, and then we're off to Brands Hatch. So there's great racing to see, and you'll get this every week at 9 PM, except for next Sunday, because obviously it's Boxing Day and you've got much more important things to do with your family rather than being sat on YouTube watching other guys race. So we're going to have a week off and then complete the championship in January. We're going to be off racing in about 2 minutes, so you're not going to have to wait very long. Paris Paris Nucus. That's the best I can do, I'm sorry. It says nice racing, so thank you for that one. Cajun 100 has joined us. Now, as he didn't compete in the first race, that means we're up to 14 racers, but it will probably give him pole position on this reverse grid. So that should be an interesting addition to the field, because he is a reasonably quick driver and he will be starting at the front on soft tyres, so I think he will be quite pleased with that. The other factor we got is the top 6 from the first race will be on medium tyres and starting from the back of the grid, so it's a reverse grid. So Stormfly, who was number 1 in the first race, will be number 14 on the grid in the second race, and he needs to set those, use those tyres for the period up to his first pit stop. After that he can do what he wants, and the same goes for the 5 guys behind him. So we'll just hop on board, because I think most of those guys are usually out deciding or getting a feel of what those tyres are like. Oh, Stu Stout has joined the room. He was fairly well down the order, so that's not going to put him out of position for race 2. So as you can see, these guys are out on racing mediums. You can see by the RM by the aerial view of a car down in the bottom left hand corner. So they're getting out to get a feel for what these medium tyres are like compared to what the softs or super softs that they were using on the previous race were like. So the great advantage of this is we tend to have quite a topsy-turvy finish, because these guys are struggling with grip, whereas the guys that maybe are a little bit slower have got more grip, so it tends to balance the field up. And one of the fastest out there already is Cajun 100, who is just going into the Senna S in his Mercedes, and he's currently put in a 1:33. Now that wasn't probably particularly quick on the qualifying pace for race 1, but compared to what the medium guys are doing, that is a quick pace. Just on YouTube again, Kevin77 from Greece has, I think, persevered as long as he can with my attempts at Greek pronunciation, and just says, refer to him as Kevin. I think he's probably right. I keep having a bash, but I've got good strengths. Commentating's one of them. Probably Greek at the moment certainly isn't. The other thing, just a quick little bit of info on this track. Most people will know it from Formula 1, and the final has started, so that's probably as far as we're going to get. It was originally built back in the 1930s. Was originally going to be a housing estate, but because of the property great crash in 1929, it ended up becoming a race circuit. There must be logic behind that. I've got no idea what it was. I'll talk to you more about that another time. So here we go. Oh, Cajun's been put to the back of the grid because he didn't have a result from race 1. So we've got 14 guys out there. Now, one to watch here is Dan. I think he's on the medium tyres, but he's at the front. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do from there. Other guys to watch, Stu Stout. He can come out with a different pitch strategy occasionally. It looks like R80 didn't get a very good start there off the grid. And P1 Don, who we know has got really good pace, but fell apart a little bit on strategy. Now, he must be a really good bet for this race too, because he's got the pace and he's got the super soft tyres. So as long as he can get his pit strategy right, he should be a good bet for this one. So he's heading down there, and Dan is looking to the inside of R80 already, but he can't quite make the move happen. So I'm pretty confident that means to me that that Dan, sorry, is on the medium tyres. So he's looking to go up the inside here at the double right-hander. Yeah, he's got the move done. On-Ford follows him through. So On-Ford's on a bit of a mission here as well, but the one who is already clearing off at a rapid rate of knots is P1 Don. So I think he's got this one in the bag as long as he doesn't make a mistake. And someone has made a mistake. Stu Stoughton, he's down there in the 14th. Looks like he's just recovering there. So not quite sure what happened there. We can maybe have a quick go and see if we can find out. Oh, it looks like maybe he lost that all on his own. So unfortunately, that hasn't really worked out for him on that one. We'll have to go back the manual way, but there we go. So P1 Don still first, Dan second, On-Ford third. R80 is holding on to fourth, but he looks like he's coming under quite a lot of attack there in fifth from Locksteck. We'll go on board as they head up towards the first turn. Yeah, Locksteck looks like he's going for the inside there. He's going to get it on the brakes by the look of it. And in front, oh, he was trying to get two for the price of one there, and that really wasn't going to work. That was a bit heavy-handed there. But Locksteck managed to hang on to the position. The one who didn't, and it all went a bit pear-shaped by the look of it, is R80. So I don't quite know what happened there, because he was down, he was on the outside that first turn, and I don't think he was involved in any of that contact. So not quite sure what happened there. But oh, Locksteck's gone a little bit deep there, so that might give On-Ford a chance to jump forward. But you can see in the distance there, P1 Don is making a bit of a getaway. Oh, Stu Stoughton, I thought he's left the room. It was obviously off the back of the field there, having had the spin on the lap one, so he's decided to call it a night. So we're down to 13 races. And talk the races, Cajun 100, who started at the back of the grid, he's already up to 8, so it's working for him at the moment. So be interested to see what he can do from that area. So Locksteck looking quite racy behind Dan, and as I say that, Locksteck gets all sideways coming out of John Cow, trying to get the power down. But it looks like Locksteck is going to be doing something about Dan. He's really close to the back of that Kit Kat Porsche. Dan will go close to the wall. Yep, I thought he did. He's forcing Locksteck to go the long way round. Locksteck's made his decision. On-Ford looks like he's coming in and getting a bit racy, but they remain in the same position, taking great chunks of curb there, just trying to keep the right side of track limits. So can Locksteck do anything about Dan as they head down towards the left-hander? Is he going to take a lunge? No, he hasn't got the performance to catch up there. We'll just hop on with Dan to make sure. Yeah, he is on the medium, so I think maybe the mediums was possibly a little step too far, but Dan is one that can often prove me wrong. So what can Locksteck do? There's been no obvious point as yet. We'll move back because I can just see, I think Yellow Sausages and Stormfly are getting quite racy with each other. Stormfly working his way back through from the back of the grid from the start, but he needs to be getting himself off those medium tyres realistically. On-Ford I don't think is on them. I think he's on, yeah, On-Ford's on the soft. So they're in two different races, I would suggest, at the moment, and looks like Stormfly's gone for the inside there. It almost looked like Yellow Sausages had decided to let him go rather than compromise his own race, trying to defend the position, which he's not really probably going to be in exactly the same race come the end of the event. So that's Stormfly through into 5th, and in the background there it looks like Devon Calypso with Cajun 100 up to 8th, trying to get another position there. So these guys are going to be coming in. I think it's going to be a two-stopper. Our single-stopper expert, Stu Stoughton, he has unfortunately already left the room, so I'm not quite sure whether anyone can pull off a single-stop strategy, because they're going to need to stop probably in about 2 laps. And whether they can make it to go for the rest of the 30 minutes on a lighter fuel usage, who knows? It'd be great to see if somebody does do something a little bit different. Oh, looks like Devin Calypso went very deep there. Looks like he had a lot of understeer. Getting a bit touchy-feely between them around that corner, but everyone's still pointing in the same direction. And Cajun 100's got that move done. So he's now going to be off after Yellow Sausages, who's there in 6th. So we'll just move back to see who's doing what a bit further down. Oh, look at this battle. 4-way one here. It's Chili Bass, Timorous, Panos. And at the back of that battle is Select. And then R80's there in 13th. So I think he had a bit of a challenge when he had that first corner where he got overtaken. I think he must have run wide. I didn't see there was any contact. Oh, and here we go. I thought that was Timorous trying to go down. So this is the repeat of the battle these guys had in the first race. The one who's out of positions in comparison is Panos, who was up there and finished in 2nd place. He's compromised at the moment, obviously on those medium tyres. As I think also, oh, talking to pit, R80's gone for the pits already. So 6th with Timorous, he's on the mediums of course as well. So Panos is probably the most compromised of these 3 at the moment, because he was the one with the bigger pace in the first race, and he's definitely heading backwards. He's not heading backwards. He's not heading forwards as quick as he would hope. Mind you, these guys have still got quarter a tank, so they're going to be able to go a lot longer. So this is probably where we need to be looking to see where the one stoppers are going to come from. And talking of stoppers, P1 Don has already stopped, but he stayed on the mediums, and if he's listening, he didn't need to stay on the mediums. He could have gone to a softer tyre, so that may compromise his race. Dan, who is stretching his fuel out like a rubber band here, he's got the red light flashing and will be getting a fair chunk of fuel anxiety. So who's pitting? Devlin Calypso's gone, Yellow Sausages has gone, Cajun 100 has gone. He was down to literally 0, so he was absolutely gassing it to get his way back up. So Dan is out there in the lead at the moment. I'm not sure, once the other guys who were moving forward through the field, the fast guys from the first race, move to the medium tyre, whether he'll be able to hold on to that. Be interesting to see. He's got about an 18-second gap at the moment, and P1 Don, I think, was about 3 or 4 seconds in front. The other one that doesn't seem to be moving forward at the moment is Stormfly, but he's pitted, so he's 44 seconds off the lead. Oh, and someone's coming out and the pits right in front of him there. Yellow Sausages. Who's going to be bravest into the next corner? It's going to be Stormfly. So we probably need another lap for all the pit stops to cycle through, and we're about a third of the way in the race. So theoretically these guys could go full lap distance, but Stormfly already is using a chunk of his fuel. I think they're going to have to go for a bit of a splash and dash towards the end, some of these drivers. And Dan is gone. Dan's in the pit, so let's just see where he's going to come out. Hasn't even got to the pit crew yet. The one we want to compare him to is P1 Don, who is just coming down towards Junkao. So it just depends how quickly he can get up the hill. Got no one to get a slipstream off, so he just needs to crack on as fast as he can. So let's pop back to Dan, who's currently shown in 4th. Now he's 5th. I don't think that's realistic. He's obviously taking on an awful lot of fuel there. Let's see how much he has. So there's P1 Don in front, who is the de facto leader. So, and he has stayed on the mediums. But, so as we come back out of the pit lane, he's actually slotted about back out in 9th. Some of those guys in front of him have got a pit, but I'm not quite sure it's going to work out for him too well, because he's lost an awful lot of time there on P1 Don, who he was comparable to prior to the pit stops. So let's have a quick look in front of him and see who has got to pit. Yellow Sausages has pitted, but he's going to have to pit again. He's not going to get to the end on that field. Stormfly's pitted. Loxtec has pitted because he's got 3/4 of a tank. And Omford is on just over half a tank, so he'll need to pit again. So 3/4 of a tank on P1 Don. You know, I don't think he can make it, so he's going to be another splash and dasher. Talk the splash and the dashing. Chili Bass, Timorous and Panos are all in the pits together. So they're the last of our stoppers. I think those guys are going to go to the end. So this one definitely isn't over. I think the Hellenic Night team have got this worked out. They've gone so much further than the other drivers on this first set of stops. I don't think they're going to need to stop again. I could of course be wrong, and it has been known once or twice. But P1 Don is still out there in the front. He's coming on a little bit of attack from Omford, who is definitely slotted out well in those pit stops. But interestingly, despite those longer pit stops, the likes of Timorous and Panos and Chili Bass are quite out of position at the moment. So I don't think, and I'd like to hear from Kevin77 on this, because I don't think these guys are going to have to pit again, but I'm not sure if they're close enough to the front of the field to make this work. Now, it looks like Timorous is letting Chili Bass go there. So maybe there's a little bit of teamwork there to let whoever they consider to be the fastest to go out front, maybe to drag the other two around, because these guys are really going to have to put some pace in. They're around about 26 seconds off the leaders. So with a pit stop, even if they have to ease it a little bit, ease it a little bit on performance, these guys may coming back into play. We've got just under 17 minutes to go, so we're not quite halfway through the race. These guys have got full tanks. I think everyone else is going to have to pit. So these guys are going to come back into play. I'm just not sure whether they're close enough to make the play work. So let's hop back up the front, because Omford, it looks like, has had a bit of an issue somewhere. He's dropped back to 4th. Let's have a quick look, see if that was racing. Oh, he's back to oh, that was a bit clunk bang wallop there. I think there'll be a bit of an inquest to that one. Let's have a quick look back and see what happened there. So Omford was 4th. It looked like Stormfly went to defend, but he went to defend really late. Omford ran a bit wide, and then Stormfly took his normal racing line, but unfortunately Omford was in the way. So that may have a little bit of an inquest to it, that one. So we'll just flip back through. So they have now settled out, and looking at Stormfly is right behind Loxtec, and Omford has dropped a little bit off the back of this battle after that coming together. So Stormfly looks like he's in a little bit of a panic. He seems to get really good drive off that Junkow corner, and he's already alongside Loxtec, and he's already in front as they head up the hill. But I think Loxtec's hopping back in, going for the slipstream. Stormfly's hugging even the wall as they come up to turn 1 and then into the centre S. Oh, a little bit of a touch there, but didn't compromise Stormfly's position. Looking back, there does seem to be a little bit of a battle going on further back. And that's Dan, who with the Hellenic Knights pitting, he's got himself up to 5th at the moment. and he's battling there with Onford. Sorry, he's battling there with Yellow Sausages. Too many green Porsches about on this track. So let's have a quick look. Where are things shaking out? So Stormfly is through to second place, about 3 seconds behind P1 Don, but he's on the Racing Super Soft, so he'll be burning those tyres up quite quickly. But he's going to have that bit more grip. But these guys are all going to have to pit. I think there's an outside bet here worth having, and I think that's definitely going to be for the Greek guys. I'm not quite sure what kind of gap they're back at the moment. 28 seconds, so they are losing time on the leaders, but not a massive amount. They were about 26 seconds behind, they're now 28. So I think these three are just running line astern because they know the race is going to come back to them. So they're running 133s really post pit stop, whereas up the front they're running 132s. So we're just over halfway through the race, so we've probably got 10 laps to go. So they're going to compromise themselves by 10 seconds, but they're going to have one less stop to do. So I think the battle we've got building here is Stormfly on P1 Don, because he's winding it in by about a second a lap. And looking back, I'm just trying to see what battles we've got on further back, and at the moment it looks reasonably clean and tidy. I think we've got Devon Calypso with Select right behind them, so I think this one is going to boil a little bit before the battle for the lead. Devon Calypso, driver's impressed as he's improved over the races. Was tended to be, when he first joined us, at the back of the field, but as you can see there up in 8th, he's becoming a consistent midfield runner. So hopefully I'm not going to put too much pressure on him, because when I tend to talk drivers up, they tend to end up in the gravel trap. So he's doing a good job here of defending from Select, who's quite an established driver with us here at Flat Out E-Racing. Has been with us, I think, as long as I've been commentating. So head up the hill again. Can Select do anything about Devon Calypso? And just keeping an eye on the corner. Onford is the first of our second stoppers, so this will be a marker to see where he comes out compared to the 3 Greek drivers. And there we go, that's Select down the inside of Devon Calypso. But the one I want to see where he has come out is going to be Onford, and see he's still stationary there in 12th. So he's fueling at the moment to the end. His racing softs are burnt and gone, but he's going to come out with quite a gap forward. Let's see what it is as he gets out of the pit lane. Got the pit limiter off, but it's still not flat out until we get round this left-hander. So I think he's quite a long way back from the Greek drivers, and I reckon that's probably a good 12-15 seconds. In fact, it's 18 seconds. So that's our first marker of where the gap is going to be because of the time loss in pit stop. So I think that's probably a good 30 seconds. So it could have been even more actually. So let's say it's 35 seconds. We'll keep an eye on if we catch the next one to go for a pit stop and see if we can work out how much they're losing through the pit stop cycle. So we'll move up to the front, and just to say that, this battle for the lead is coming to the boil with P1 Yellow Sausages. He's just gone for the pits, so that's another one we can get a feel of where the time loss is and whether dropping a stop is going to be the way forward. So coming down to 10 minutes to go, just 1/3 race distance left. Stormfly all over the back of P1 Don, and P1 Don is struggling because he's stayed on the mediums where I think he should have gone for softs, which is why Stormfly's got so much more pace. But these guys are going to have to pit again, and Stormfly's going to have to pit sooner rather than later, because look at his fuel gauge, it's flashing red. And Lockstech, he's in a similar position. And we'll just move forward quickly to P1 Don. And yeah, these guys are all going to be pitting soon. So this one is going to shake out right in front of you, because I think we're going to have a run of pit stops at the end of this lap. Dan on those medium tyres is fighting well. He's up there in 4th. I don't know whether he's worked anything on lesser pit stops. So are they going to go this time? I think they might have just enough fuel for another lap. And the answer is no. Stormfly has got by P1 Don, but they're just heading into the pits now. So next in line is Lockstech. Oh, P1 Don, yeah, he was in the pits. Dan has stayed out. He's got half a tank. I think Dan may be the one that I've missed, and he's got a strategy worked out here, because he, I think, is doing similar things to the Greek drivers. He's got harder tyres, so he's not going to be quite as quick, but he's running 133, so the super soft guys seem to be in the 132s, so he might need to see if he can pick the pace up a little bit. But let's see. Look at that, Stormfly and Lockstech have dropped out way back from Chili Bass, Timorous and Panos. So my prediction of the Greek drivers is coming to fruition, but the one I hadn't allowed for is Dan. And the other one that may be on a blinder, oh no, I'm afraid he isn't, is Cajun 100, because he's going to have to pit again, and it looks like he's burnt through those racing super softs quite heavily as well. So there's 8 minutes to go on that one. Devlin Calypso, he's still got quite a bit of fuel, so he might be able to do a quick splash and dash at the end, but his racing softs do look fairly worn. So it's Chili Bass, Timorous and Panos are shaking their way through to the front. Interestingly, fastest lap at the moment is P1 Don, so he's certainly got some pace at the moment. But I'm not sure whether, let's see how much fuel. Chili Bass has got half a tank, so I'm going to imagine the other Greek drivers have got the same. Dan has got just under half a tank, so I think he may need to wind back the fuel a little bit if he hasn't already, just to make sure he can get to the end, because as a marker point, Cajun 100 has just gone for the pits. As a marker point, he's got 20 seconds at the moment on the Greek drivers. Now, either they're very evenly paced, or they just feel comfortable in the crowd, these drivers, because they always seem to go round very much together. So Devlin Calypso, who's dropped down that battle, Cajun 100's gone for the pits as well. So I think we're starting to shake out into where this is going to be. Now the one who it hasn't really worked for at the moment is Stormfly, because I think we've just got 6 minutes 40 to go. There's no way he's going to catch those top 4. I think Dan and the 3 Greek drivers have got this one worked out. And during that pit stop as well, Stormfly dropped behind P1 Don, who has now gone, taken the commentator's advice. That's what I like to see. He's gone, taken the commentator's advice, and he's gone for the super soft. So he should be on an even pace to Stormfly. You can thank me later, P1 Don. So just shoved them down. We've got Lockstech down in 7th at the moment. He's fueled to the end by the look of it. And so he's on for it. In fact, he looks a bit overfueled, and he's coming under the close attention of Yellow Sausages at the moment. So we'll stick on with these 2 guys. Let's see. Well, this is green Porsche against green Porsche, isn't it? So here we go, long climb up the hill. These 2 cars should be fairly evenly balanced. I'm not sure if they're running slightly. Yeah, well, in 9th, Yellow Sausages is running super soft tyres, so he should have a little bit more grip and get a better exit from that last corner. Oh, and we've lost this data on the screen, but we've got it now. Yellow Sausage is running the super soft tyre, so he should be able to get a bit of exit, and just as I mentioned it, he has done just that. He's creeping up alongside They're coming up towards the Cedar de Lago, and can Yellow Sausage get it done? No, it looks like he was given a little bit of a gentle Max Verstappen to Onford there. Yellow Sausage has got the inside as they come up around that left-hander, but now it's a right-hander, so he's on the wrong side. So compromises Onford's line on the entry. Can he do the switch back on into the hairpin? No, he can't. So they are in their same relative positions again. Let's have a look. I think there's going to see something happening. So let's see where the gap is for Dan. Dan is 21 seconds in front with 4 minutes to go. And interestingly, Chili Bass has now, Panos has moved to the front of this group. Chili Bass has moved to middle of the group in 3rd place, and Timorous has dropped to the back in 4th. So, but I don't think these guys can do anything about Dan. He's gone, and Lockstech may have pulled the same trick on Fuel, because he is there in 5th at the moment. We've only got just over 3.5 minutes remaining. Oh, Stormfly in the background, just noticed it has got past P1 Don, despite the fact they're now running the same tyres. But this is not going to be the result that Stormfly was after. I think he was hoping to be up the front, and it looks like fuel usage has been the winner tonight in this second race, because they've been the drivers at the front have been the one-stoppers, and that seems to have made the massive amount of difference. And the one that has really worked out is Dan, because he's a mile in front at the moment there. He's got that 21-second gap, and let's remind ourselves, he is racing on the medium tyre. So throughout the race, so it's not been a case where he's had the medium to start with and then gone to a softer one. He's stuck with that medium tyre for the whole race. So using strategy rather than grip, he's done a fantastic result there. So 2nd, 3rd and 4th with Panos, who's now been released by Chili Bass and Timorous, who I don't think is going to make any difference to Dan's lead there, because Dan has got just such a massive lead. Helped a little bit by the fact he was at the front of the pack for the reverse grid race, so that did give him a little bit of a hop up, but even so, that's still a stunning drive. So Stormfly there in 6th. His best opportunity, I think, is going to be 5th here if he can catch Lockstech. The Greek drivers are in a group not too far in front of them, but I still don't think he can do too much, and he's still coming under the tensions here of P1 Don. So whether Stormfly is now compromised maybe on a little bit of fuel usage, I don't know. He's running a bit wide there, which is certainly not going to help him. P1 Don in the background takes a nice neat line over the curbs. Not much you can do about it around this section of the track. You can see in the front we've got Lockstech there, who is actually catching the slower 2 of the Greek driver. So this is going to bubble up. We probably are coming now onto the last lap. Well, in fact, Dan has started his last lap. He's already going through, I can see, through the centre S and the way. So Dan is in a race of his own. I think he's got the windows wound down, the stereo wound up, and he's just enjoying himself. But further back, it's really not over yet. I thought Stormfly was going to be catching Lockstech, but I think he's compromised by fuel, because P1 Don had got by him, but Stormfly's now got back. So I don't see Stormfly going any further forward, so I think that's as good as he's going to get. But the one that is going forward is Lockstech. He's up to 4th. Now I think this is a grip and performance issue. If we go on board with him, yeah, he's on the Racing Super Soft, so he's got more grip than the Greek driver, because I believe they are running the medium. Oh! Not sure if that'll be a track limits issue, because Lockstech, I think, almost had all 4 wheels off the track, but he's through to 3rd. So there may be post-race discussions on that one, but the one that is coming in the background, and maybe because he's got a bit more grip, is Stormfly. So what I'm going to do and P1 Don is waiting in the wings there, so let's hope this doesn't end up as a heap of parts. So they're all coming down the last corner. I'm just going to hop quickly to Dan as he comes up to the finish line. Fantastic drive there. Did it all with strategy rather than grip. So Stormfly looking to go upside up the inside of Timorous there, but can't quite get it done. Loxtec is away there in third. Panos is going to cross the line in second place any second now. He's got a clear run. Perhaps the Greek team should have released him a little bit earlier. These four are going to cross the line one after another. Oh, Timorous. Oh, there was a slight change there at the end. But Timorous and Chili Bass were 4th and 5th. Stormfly in 6th. P1 Don in 7th. 8th was Yellow Sausages. He's just coming up to the line now. A little bit of a lonely race there for him. But Onford and Select haven't finished the battle. But Select's having to dump a penalty as he crossed the line. So that was the end of that one. Devlin Calypso is down there in 11th. But he's coming under pressure from Cajun 100 and R80. This is going to go to the line. They're going to 3 abreast. So it's Devlin Calypso, Cajun 100, R80 there in 13th, and unfortunately Stu Stoughton left the room. I think there was an incident with another driver which unfortunately he came off worse, so unfortunately Stu didn't stay with us to the end. So there we go, that's round 11 and 12 of the Flat Out E-Racing sponsored by Decal Labs DTM series. So please, for us, a quick like and a quick subscribe underneath, that would be great. For Decal Labs, our sponsor, give them a Google, get on their website, see what they can do for you. They can do liveries of all sorts for real cars, and these are guys that are involved with the British Touring Car Championship, so you're going to be talking top quality decals. So please give them a look, give them a like, check them out on Facebook, etc. That would be great. We'd really appreciate that one. And don't forget, we're here on Wednesday with my great friend Jay, who will be commentating on the Group 4s. And then next Sunday we're having the day off. It's Boxing Day. It's all about family. It's Christmas. So we'll be back the following weekend to continue the series with a round at Bathurst. And then the following week we'll be back in the UK at Brands Hatch. So thank you very much for joining us. Great to have you on board. Excuse me. Great to have you on board, and stay safe, and we'll see you soon.